Looking back at Worlds 2021, LCK was incredibly stacked. Damwon Gaming, also known as D+ Kia, looked insanely dominant and was clearly the best team coming into the tournament. They were on a path towards a back-to-back Worlds title, as ShowMaker was recognized as the next Faker. But unfortunately, there was a different Faker protege that rose to the occasion. This is the upset that stunned the 2021 Worlds Finals, denying Damwon's back-to-back title.
There's one turret between EDG and history right now as Viper dashes forward. ShowMaker goes golden, but it's not going to keep him alive. Meiko is going to be the sacrificial lamb, but it's a double kill already for Flandre. Lightning rushing his way out of this one, and now the Nexus is exposed. Damwon Kia are limping, and EDG have the man advantage. The Nexus will go down, and against all odds, EDG will be your 2021 World Champions.
Now, before EDG became the world champion, they were actually a middle-of-the-pack team in the LPL. They were in 6th place in Spring 2020, then immediately fell 3-1 to JDG in the quarterfinals. Their record worsened in the summer split as they finished in 10th place, failing to qualify for the playoffs. It was clear that Scout and Meiko alone cannot lift the team. Something has to change. So, during the off-season, EDG acquired Flandre as their new top laner and Viper as the new AD carry. Both of these players were higher caliber in their own right, but they never really peaked in their respective teams. In hindsight, it felt like EDG was a team filled with talented players with a disappointing record. And perhaps it was the main reason why they seemingly clicked as a team. Meanwhile, League fans shared different feelings about this lineup. Some found it questionable, while others saw the potential of this roster. And for those who believed in this upgraded EDG team, they were rewarded in the upcoming split.
In a little bit of trouble, has no flash. Mole expending his as well. This could be a bit of a trade. The Emperor's Divide is still there. They do land the Scatter of the Week. There's the Emperor's Divide. One more auto attack will do it, but no, he's not able to get it. Mole dies! Scout survives, and he says he's the king. It's questionable at best from Colton. Okay, Viper. Ensues. The rest of ADG trying to just keep themselves alive. It is Beauty who falls, but they trade it for Jiejie. Massive 3-man knockoff. It's a quadra kill out of nowhere for Viper, and they're going to try and gift him over to the Penta. They are going to give him over to a Viper.
From a disappointing split last year into the second best team in the LPL, only one game behind RNG, their glow-up was unprecedented. However, their dominance doesn't translate to the playoffs. Even though EDG quickly dismantled TES, which was the third-place team in the regular season, this playoff exposed a weakness of EDG. As the tournament progressed, the 5th seed, FPX, just swept RNG in round 4, then sniped EDG in a grueling 5 games. EDG then faced the first-place team in the lower bracket, and they were actually on the verge of a reverse sweep. However, the Game 5 downfall once again occurred as EDG crumbled under the pressure. It seems like going to Game 5 is the weakness for this rejuvenated team. This wasn't the playoff run that the team was expecting, but it still gave the fans hope for a brighter future. EDG massively improved their previous split record as they identified areas to fix in their team. Heading into the next split, LPL went on a parkour. Every single team in the LPL changed position except for EDG. Some teams rose to the top, while others somewhat sank in the standings. Now, of course, there are a lot of factors for this change. One in particular is the meta change. EDG, maintaining the same spot with almost the same record, proves their stability as a team, regardless of the meta shift or how chaotic the competition might get. However, another thing remained constant for the team as well.
You even could have started a push-up in top because you do have TP on Shanks, but it seems like WE being more comfortable to play through a 2-lane setup and not risk a potential engage coming out from EDG before Shanks can maybe follow up and throw everything away.
I'm getting a little bit excited here, Larry. I don't know if you know this. I'm relatively partial to a good WE series. I'm still a little bit on the fence on the fact that they're not regularly using Teach 'em all, but other than that, I am fully on board with this team. And right now, they are looking dominant, and they are looking like one of the best teams in the entire LPL. I cannot believe those words just left my lips. Here we go, Elk engaged upon by Meiko. There's the fate sealed as well, but they just don't have the damage. Elk survives. Flandre now dives the backline. They managed to do it. They got themselves a kill. EDG will not be perfect gamed, but they will be gamed. At the end of the day, it's 17-1. It's going to be a 2-0 for WE. They've started this series the way they mean to go on. They continued their run. 2-0 now. 1 game away from making it to the semi-final.
Another lower seed team surprisingly stunned EDG again as they went 2-0 in the series. WE looked like a better team in this playoff, but just like in the series against RNG, EDG was ready to bring the series into the silver scrapes.
Though, as WE continue to try and defend, Flandre goes in, Breathe is behind everyone with the TP, in they go with the Gnar, it's 3-man, it doesn't get the stun though, Magnustorm comes out to answer, the move 4 goes wide from Jiejie, Elk still going strong on the back line, but it's 1 kill already, make it 2, we'll have a 3rd on top of that one please, as EDG, they manage to finish the game off. It looked dicey at points, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the win, the TPs, the summoners, the fountain dive. This is a happy...
This is going to be the end of the game, Munchables. EDG can just keep going.
The
and
TPs come back in. Jiejie threatens the dive onto the fountain. The Nexus is bare. And EDG, they push us to...
This situation was nothing new for EDG, as they once again threatened a reverse sweep against their opponent. Unfortunately for them, it seems like the biggest threat to them is their own demons. For the 3rd time this year, EDG crumbled in Game 5. Upset occurred as EDG was sent to the lower bracket. But thanks to this heartbreaking loss, something woke up within the team. Later on in the playoffs, EDG was set on a rematch against WE in the lower bracket finals. Whoever wins this series will move on to the grand finals, and EDG did not even let this game stretch into the full series.
Pushing in, there's the 3rd Drake. Flandre now finds himself on the backside, flash forward, flash away. Great Scout of the week, but Scout is just too damn big. This LeBlanc is too damn fed, and there's just nothing you can... They actually have a wave in bot lane if they wanted to go for it, but Jiejie's so low. They're just being tantalizingly teased right now by EDG. We're just keeping a perfect distance away. Through shot barrage gets blocked by the Unbreakable again, as we can see Viper going forward. There's Flandre jumping in with Jiejie going down. It's a 2-for-1. There's a shuffle though. It's huge. Can he get the damage? No! It's enough of a burst here from EDG, and that shuffle means nothing. And now they can push up mid with the ace and maybe even end the game. We can see Shanks Breed going forward to try to find this fight as they look for it. The Glacial Fisher is there. The Breed has gone into GA. They're going so far forward. They're trying to get on top of Jiejie. But look at Flandre. Look at Viper. They're just putting down the damage. There's nothing to do. It's Elk versus the world. But there's an Elder Buff on this team. I don't think he can do it. It's 3v2. Elk tried his very best, but no, he cannot. He will not. And EDG will take the fight. Triple kill for Flandre, 3-0. EDG will mark their ticket to Worlds and have a date with FBX in the LPL Summer 2021 Finals.
EDG with the last few seconds.
EDG took the commanding revenge win as the beast within them conquered their playoffs curse. A clean sweep against WE, proving the caliber of each player on the team. EDG then carries this momentum towards the grand finals, taking down FPX in just 4 games. It looks like EDG realised that they don't need to face their Game 5 weakness if they could just close out the game quickly. EDG finally took over the region, lifting their well-deserved LPL trophy. They also became the first seed of the LPL representatives heading to Worlds 2021. Fast forward to September 2021, Worlds Group Draw Show finally begins. Just like an annual tradition, teams across the world gathered to compete for a single trophy, and there's a region that's clearly a cut above the rest. Drawing the Pool 1 first, EDG was selected to Group B. Joining them first was the only first seed in Pool 2, NA's 100 Thieves. And the 3rd team joining Group B, which was arguably the strongest team in Pool 3, it's LCK's T1. Now, the fourth team for each group will be determined after the play-in stage, but spoiler alert, it was DFM that completed the list for Group B. With that being said, Group B looks like a contention group, a warm-up per se for EDG. And just like expected, EDG made it out, but not as the first seed of their group. Since the old days, T1's worst record in the group stage was 5-1. They would always either go on a perfect score or drop only a single game. This time though, it was EDG who took the single win against the winningest organisation. As we take a look at the whole tournament, all of the LCK representatives made it out of the group stage, while 3 of them topped the standings. Meanwhile, 2 out of the 4 representatives only made it through the knockout stage. FPX, who was expected to be the first seed of the LPL, lost during the 3-way tiebreaker. LNG took that to another level, as Group D had a 4-way tiebreaker, and that will be a different story for another time. Moving on to the knockout stage, Region Kill started early, as T1 faced HLE, while EDG got a rematch with RNG. There would only be a single LPL team that could move to the semis. Spring Split winner versus Summer Split victor. And just like the true LPL fashion, this series went into the full distance.
Because his mid-jungle already have control of the river. Oh, that's an empowered root. That's a Malzul over the top and a double knockup and an ulti back in way. Gonna kick him right back out, and he will not take any more damage until Flandre shows up. Too early, just wait! Flandre's impatient, but rewarded with first blood all the same. Even Miss Fortune trailing, but she has extra move speed to get there. This is going to probably leash back as the team fight starts. There's RNG getting locked up a fair bit. This is going to be the first one on the way. Smites for help, and it's a 2-for-0 so far. Yumi's just targets a 3rd kill. EDG thought you count him out, but they came to play. Looking for a 4th now. Not sure Ming can survive this one. He's going to headbutt, pulverize, get the aftershock. A stun might do a little bit, but it's not going to do a lot. Give Viper. So it's burning down and burning down. Jiejie's going to be in range. He's going to be taunted. His ulti is up. Bullet time puts him to the side, and Baron has been stopped. Ming waiting for the flank play. Does he go in? Viper's going to mark him. Second time around. Can they keep him away? It's at 2K. They can burn this down. They find the first bit of CC. Oh, Jiejie who claims it. He gets the Baron anyway. And the team fight begins. Scout knocks up 1, and it's going to be a slaughter. But a stopwatch is popped. Way is alive. Scout for the second Zonius. Viper alone, but he has Meiko, and that's a shutdown over to the Sinjao. And Viper, he's got the red gun, he's got the lifesteal, and he's got a loot. Just hitting 2 spells, and Jiejie's a half health, flashes in, bullet time, good flash away from Ming. Wei is tanky, Gore Drinker, Lulu, we're gonna lose the Jiejie, but Viper is down. Flandre might be next, Xiaohu finally burns the stopwatch, and all the teammates are down. It is just Flandre left alone, and we are going to get...
Once again, EDG's nightmare came back to confront them. Their Game 5 win rate was 0% for the whole of 2021 prior to Worlds. It was time for EDG to decide whether they'd make or break in the same spot that terrorized them.
Flash up in about 20 seconds. This is the last time they get a chance to do it. Jiejie gonna see him. Oh, that's gonna miss. He's got a ward hop away to stay alive with a flash to find the knockup. Jiejie is perfect, and he finds the kill. Yumi here for the heals as well, and here comes Scout. Will it be a flash root? Will they knock down Ming? It is, and will the damage land? Not quite. Auto's not enough. Shockwave only hits Viper. Good sidestep by Scout.
You can see how EDG are doing this. You have Flandre push out top, go and cover mid, Scout immediately going down towards bot side, and the play's coming out.
Okay, TP's coming in. There's the first knockup. Gala trying to kite. He's rooted, and he's gonna drop. Bullet time hits 2 waves. A 2-for-0 so far. Xiaohu not gonna find anything as the shockwave hits nothing at all. And here comes Yumi healing up Scout. Will he die? The heals in yet again. Thank you, Moonstone Renewer. And they do not have the damage. It's 3 unanswered. It's 4 unanswered. It is RNG left, crying alone as their hopes dwindle before their very eyes. Orianna will die. They are aced.
For any type of crazy fight.
Flash knockup. Xiaohu could drop. The dunk is in. He barely lives, but they still find a 1 for nothing. That is a kill on Wei. True shot barrage might almost hit. It's close. Bullet time comes across, but it's not going to be enough. Instead, it is time to die. It's a 2-0. EDG diving into the base. Flandre brings a stopwatch. Viper Arcane shifts forwards. Flandre is the target, but Xiaohu is the death, and the same goes through for Gala. One man left alive, crying as RNG's hopes that a world title fall. EDG, it took them 6 attempts, but this time they will knock down RNG. This time, EDG won it.
For the first time for this EDG lineup, they finally won a BO5 series. They also broke the world's curse of the organization as they moved on to the semi-finals for the first time. EDG surpassed their demons, and they did it on the biggest stage of the year. But little did they know, fate was a bit mischievous towards them. As teams moved on to the next level of the tournament, 3 out of the 4 LCK representatives made it through the bracket. Not to mention, every single one of them 3-0'd their opponents during the quarterfinals. And it was only EDG that went into 5 games. In hindsight, EDG looked screwed against the Korean teams. Starting off the semi-finals, EDG faced the LCK's second seed, Jiejie. The series went back and forth as EDG took game 1, Jiejie took games 2 and 3, and then EDG pushed to silver scrapes as they won game 4. The score was tied up again, which was a familiar territory for EDG. This time though, Jiejie tested if EDG's previous game 5 victory was a fluke, and they immediately got their answer.
Such an important objective.
Oh, EDG gonna be in range almost, only for a slow though. Able to sidestep the knock-up and walks away, but that doesn't mean he's gonna drop a couple of CS here, and can they train for a bit more? I mean, Scout could theoretically go for the big route. Yes, he does. EQ's gonna be back up, the flash follow! That was beautiful. The youngest player left the world sets up first blood for Wade the control as Rise is clearing mid, and Life is in for the flank. Jiejie go in, they find the knock-up. They look for the kill, but Viper stays alive. Will they kill Meiko? Yes, a 1-0. The shots come across. Ruler a bit isolated, but will not be hit by the skill shots. Rascal a bit low, and Life has been traded back. The dunk comes in. It's 3 unanswered. A stopwatch for Scout, and he stays alive. It's the ace. It's Jiejie falling. It's the last hope of the LPL, crushing the second to last team of the LCK as well to knock down even more. This turret's going to fall. Jiejie, when will you fight for your life? And open Nexus is the time as Clid is in the back line, taking the shockwave to help him to try to knock down Jiejie, but it's not going to happen just yet. Stopwatch burned. 1-0 so far. Take the second. Here comes the Realm Warp. Clid left alone. He will fall, and Ruler sees his kingdom fall to ashes. He's got no turrets left. He's got no life left, and he's got no road left to the World Championship. Viper puts in a couple of shots. BDD is going to die, and the Nexus falls, and EDG, the last of the LPL, are headed to their first World Final.
For the second time in a row, EDG broke their Game 5 curse. The narrative completely flipped as EDG became a Game 5 slayer, turning their greatest weakness into their best arsenal. And surprisingly, a thrilling 5-game series also unfolded on the other side of the bracket. Damwon took down T1 in Game 5, preparing the table for a bewildering Grand Finals. As the teams ready themselves for the final match in the tournament, the analysts expect a fast series. Keep in mind that Damwon only lost 2 games in the whole tournament so far, while EDG clawed their way to the finals. Many even said that the real finals already happened in the semis, when Damwon faced T1. However, EDG had something to say about that narrative. Starting with Game 1, Damwon was ready to stomp EDG with their solo laner carries. But in response, EDG took a page from Carrier's pool during the semis, as they brought out Zilean, a pick that caught Damwon off guard.
You should be able to secure themselves the first enemy red.
And this is very basic timer control. Here's the Realm Warp though.
Yeah, let's see whether Ghost can survive this one. He might be able to, as Barrel's also battling, dancing his way out, but it doesn't work. First blood goes to Scout and EDG.
And start to unlock with their composition.
Well, they're looking for a bit of a pick here as Meiko's burning down for now. In goes Jiejie though into the backside. It's flash out immediately from Ghost as the Jarvan out of position but still able to grab the kill. And look at all of that healing as well. He's going to get resurrected from the Chrono Shift, and now it's Damwon Kia that are on the run. Canyon is not rooted just yet, but Khan is just dead. Down goes Canyon as well, and there Going to be on vision as soon as he comes out of that brush, but EDG, they can go for an answer here. Control ward in the pit, they know exactly the health bar, and Damwon Kia, are they looking for a turn? Do they actually have the coordinated damage to lock anyone down before Meiko can bring them back to life? In goes Jiejie, they just explode ShowMaker. He is so important for their team fight, and he goes golden as well. He's got the Sterix, he's got the Chrono Shift. It's an immortal job in trying to win the team fight, and EDG have lost no one. In goes Beryl once again, but it's going to be a sacrifice, and Damwon Kia are left with corpses on the rift.
And EDG have done it!
But perhaps it will not be enough. The 5-man of EDG looking to go in.
Flash Cataclysm comes forward, and Jiejie just trying to put them in position, but it's Canyon. He's got the ultimate, and now the dive forward from Beryl. It does not work out. The grand entrance only hits one, and then he just pops like a balloon. The wind wall looks comically ineffective as now the Nexus turrets are falling. And for a series that so many predicted was a 3-0, yes, it might be, but it's not going to be for Damwon Kia. Edward Gaming absolutely wiping the floor with our former world champions. They make sure they finish the job before they finish off the Nexus.
With this win, EDG silenced everyone who predicted a 3-0 win against them. They comfortably took the first game from the defending champions, but their job was still far from over. Moving into Game 2, Damwon prioritized Jin for Ghost and Leona for Beryl, the champions that they had world skins on. EDG tried to play fire with more fire in their draft, but Damwon was the team that flourishes in heavy skirmish battles, and they certainly displayed it in this game.
It can be very effective if that single tire closes to you, or...
There's the ultimate. Kiana goes right into the wall, and that is indeed a supreme display of...
You can then push the minion wave further up mid.
Oh, Flash ulti comes forward. There's another supreme display of talent, and Flandre is out of there. Viper unable to then get the position as Khan on the side, trying to get Scout out of here. Scout, of course, can be devious, but let's see whether they can fight this 4v5. The Drake also in there. In goes Jiejie, but not quite able to get the work done that he wanted to. There's the Mimic Distortion, but no damage. Viper still able to take down Canyon, but is it actually going to work out? Jiejie flashing for his life, and Viper, high health bar, but he doesn't have any friends, and it's a double kill for Khan, who is getting his revenge right now. Jiejie, that was the wrong brush to face check, as Beryl could go down, but no, it's a triple kill for the Graves on the touch. We noted earlier. Now Jiejie inside this pit. Does have the ultimate back available as Khan dashes on forward, looks to try and get damage down onto the young jungler. The supreme display of talent does barely anything, as now EDG bringing the fight to the back line of Damwon Kia. They trade as the mid laners both go down, but Kiana still does so much work. Flandre has to run, and that's the stun from Ghost. He is magnetic with these skill shots on the Jin, and that is sole point for Damwon Kia. Right now on this pick.
Here we go.
Yep, teleport flank to try and get them in there already. Jiejie taking a lot of damage. There's the Sterix down, double flashes as Meiko tries to engage. ShowMaker going golden, but can he actually stay alive after the fact? The supreme display of talent says absolutely yes as Damwon Kia. They will rout EDG. That's a clean ace, and they will win a game.
It was a statement game from Damwon as they won 22-3 in kill score. And even with heroic BR steal from Jiejie, Damwon still styled on EDG. Game 3 in this series, Damwon doubled down and heavily indexed into a different comp, but can still heavily skirmish. They were showing the world that they have a champion pool the size of the ocean, as they stomp EDG once more.
Is going to be left alone as Flandre is going to get flashed on.
Yeah, it's a big early flash from Flandre. I like the idea, but it ain't going to work. All of the teleports to come forward as now Khan is walking the wrong way, but maybe it's the correct one as they pick up the kill on the Twisted Fate. They knew the man advantage was coming in, and he puts himself in the right position. Flank, I believe, was just spotted, and definitely is now with the chain lash being looked at, and Damwon Kia looking for some stuns. They haven't fully committed just yet as Canyon dives on over, but he's immediately popped. Can't make the big play. Can't into the backside though. He'll be able to do it. Locks down Scout before he can do anything, and Ghost grabs the kill onto Jiejie. And this is the team fight that Damwon Kia have been looking for all game long. Flandre goes down as well, and Meiko, he's running for the hills, but he's not going to be able to stop this infernal soul going down. There is a blast cone still available, looks for the chain, but doesn't quite get there as Canyon gets the kickback, immediately goes in to the stopwatch. Beautifully done, and they're going to be the picks. The top side goes down first, and it's a bloodbath. Oh man, he couldn't do it last time, but that time, Canyon, beautiful. beautiful.
Perfect turn here from Damwon as they chase down Viper as well, and that will be the Baron this time around.
As well, as you can see, just up to the front line, feeling very good, and the Elder Drake has spawned. Now the teamfight going to break out yet again as Beryl going down very, very low, but Viper was the target, and Viper will be taken down. Beryl's he's still alive. What is going on here? Flandre and Scout, the last men standing, and look at this. They're stealing it. Thankfully, Beryl finally falls as the Destiny steals away that kill, but it's still a massive fight win for Damwon Kia.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive fight win, and that is going to lay destruction to the base. Teleport immediately over for the push with the Baron. Make the most of it.
Yep, they decide that they don't even need the Elder Drake because, of course, the Nexus is the prime target, and Damwon Kia are pushing forward. It's going to be this one caster minion that will be the hero right now as Scout, the only one here that can try to defend. Jiejie up relatively soon, Meiko as well. Viper also only 5 seconds, but the Nexus is exposed, and Damwon Kia will move to match point in this series.
From 22-3 earlier to 17-7 right now, Damwon was just playing with their food as they moved on to the match point. The crowd thought that the series was already over after this game. The teamfights were just better, as they mechanically outplayed EDG in every skirmish. Many believed that Damwon would be the second team to do a back-to-back Worlds titles, and ShowMaker would be the next Faker of the modern day. But if there's one thing that EDG was an expert on, it was pushing the series all the way to 5 games. As the teams moved to Game 4, EDG finally brought out Scout's Zoe and Jiejie's Viego. Meanwhile, Damwon once again played an entirely different comp, as if they were playing Fearless Draft already in 2021, and perhaps this gave EDG the avenue to push for another game in this series.
Right now, because if they don't win that lane, they have nothing that's winning on the map. The talent is literally useless, and it all falls apart. But now, it's going to be Canyon and me.
Are up for both sides, by the way.
This is the big moment for both of these teams. EDG wanting to get to this soul point. Jiejie's smites have just been so good. He dives in, and of course he steals it away. Damwon Kia, can they actually find a team fight, though, is going to be the question. We still have shockwaves. There's still so much available, but Damwon Kia get denied even the to mean less and less as we tick past 30 minutes into this game.
Oh god, that's melting.
Yeah, this is going down so incredibly fast, and no one is in position. They just didn't even really know. It's Khan bounces into the pit and decides that he doesn't want that whatsoever. He will get popped, and now Damwon find themselves with a man disadvantage, and EDG with Baron
taking the tower and picking up the extra kill. EDG, well, a bubble lands here, actually.
Yeah, this could be the pick-off. The minion wave turns up in the nick of time, but Ghost could be the one to go down, and he absolutely is. The Heartbreaker comes in, but now Jiejie in a bit of trouble. He just gets himself over the wall. Canyon explodes as well, as Nami is turned into a fish finger. ShowMaker now at about no health, as Khan's doing his very best to be the hero, but it's not going to happen this game. As Damwon Kia are routed once again, they're running the wrong direction, and EDG should be taking this game. In fact, Flandre, he's taking inhibitors himself.
Rumors of the LPL's demise have been greatly exaggerated at Worlds this year, my friends. EDG will just put a stomp down on game number 4.
It was a stunning change of phase in the series, as EDG won Game 4. The last games were kill-heavy, and it was evident that Damwon profited in that type of game. That's why in this game, EDG pulled out a macro masterclass, never giving Damwon the messy fight that they wanted. EDG secured the objectives and only fought Damwon in the latter part of the game. With that being said, EDG was once again set on a deciding Game 5 of the series. Tuning in at the last game of the tournament, draft be damned, as both teams drafted the best picks for their players. DK built around ShowMaker's Syndra, while EDG surrounded key parts for Scout Zoe. The battle between the mid laners is in full display, but this time though, Scout proved that he was the true successor to the throne.
Pillar is of course trying to find the cannon early, throw down the pillar just to make or delay that engage and force him to use some...
ShowMaker.
Yeah, he's so far forward, has to flash out. The scan of the week is good, but it's not good enough. The slicing maelstrom comes in, and now Khan trying to take down Canyon. There's the collateral damage finally. He gets it done, and he's not done yet. Jiejie taking a lot of damage. Khan will fall down. Ghost is still alive, doing a fair bit of work, but Beryl, he's in the middle of 4 people, and EDG will wipe them off the map. It's just a lonely Ziggs, and EDG have full from the Ziggs. The Baron's still going down.
This is the World Finals, and they're sneaking it with 2 people. 3K left. Canyon going down, burning.
Meiko, can he actually get awarded to this pit? He does, and he gets the bad news. It is taken by Khan. There was no smite because Canyon had to use it. Just available for the LPL squad. The teleport to come in through from the flank for Flandre. It's Damwon Kia. They're still biding their time, waiting for their opportunity as Meiko goes in, pops immediately like a balloon, but Canyon going to follow suit. Flandre gets exhausted, and Khan now trying to continue this fight. Some low health bars as the flash comes forward. Khan goes golden. Viper is still alive though. Flashes in. ShowMaker down to 200. He's a sitting duck, and it's a double kill for Scout. Now he's flashing forward, picking up all of the summoner spells, and it is good night for Ghost and an ace for EDG. This one.
Oh, ShowMaker.
Oh, off to the side. Can he find it? No, Flandre able to get himself out as Meiko now dives in. Canyon, the one that's going to be the target. Does he have to subjugate to keep himself alive? It does not work. And Scout locks down the jungle, and now no smite. And this Elder Drake is on the table. Damwon Kia, can they stop it? Are they going to give up an Elder? I don't think he can afford to do that. As they move themselves back around. Gravitum going to stun up Beryl, but he's able to get himself into the brush. The Elder, I don't think Damwon have an answer to this. 25 seconds on Canyon, but he has no teleport or anything, is now Flandre looking for ShowMaker, the counter flash to come through from the Syndra, but he's so far away from the potential fight. Khan trying to fight this one out as in they go. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but the flash comes out from Viper. He takes down Beryl. Now who is going to answer this AD carry? The shutdown onto Flandre some way towards the bottom side, but that's not what we're looking at. There is no smite on the side of Damwon Kia, but the dragon resets. Oh, the flash doesn't work out there for Khan, but he's still trying to get this one done. It does not work, and the dragon will be taken. The turrets and inhibitors, the mid lane going to go down as well, as EDG will crush the base of Damwon Kia. Do they have it in them in order to close this one out right here? There is one turret between EDG and history right now as Viper dashes forward. ShowMaker goes golden, but it's not going to keep him alive. Meiko is going to be the sacrificial lamb, but it's a double kill already for Flandre. Lightning rushing his way out of this one, and now the Nexus is exposed. Damwon Kia are limping, and EDG have the man advantage. The Nexus will go down, and against all odds, EDG will be your 2021.
Against all odds indeed, EDG surpassed everyone's expectations. Keep in mind that they literally went 5 games in every step towards the finals, which was supposedly their weakness in the LPL. Every narrative was stacked against EDG, and if you still don't believe us, we have some stats to back it up. This was the team ranking in terms of stats by the end of the tournament. As you can see, Damwon, T1 and Jiejie all have a better win rate than EDG. Damwon only dropped 5 games in the whole tournament, 2 in the semis and 3 in the finals. And if we are looking at the GDM, both T1 and Damwon had better stats against EDG. It was crazy to think that the 4th place team in stats took down the most dominant team in the tournament. This win from EDG cemented the greatest upset in 2021, becoming the team that dismantled a rising dynasty. And if you want more topics like this, click the like button and make sure to subscribe.